How's it going, people? Simon Slappy here. And the January BTS is here already, nice and early. I've literally just got in, so yeah, forgive me. Either way, BTS, what is going on? Well, this is the BTS for January, and there's quite a lot of stuff, gotta be said. There's quite a bit of it, and I'm kind of looking forward to quite a chunk of it. Makes a change, it's normally just useless random crap, but yeah, there's some nice things in here, so let's get started. So start off, power to the player. Apparently Jagex this year, basically giving us the power to decide what content is going to come out sooner rather than later. I guess the best way to put it, or which content is actually going to be made, that kind of thing. So what they're going to do is they add in a new poll system. They talked about it in the video on their actual main YouTube channel. If you haven't seen that, then go ahead and check that out. But in a nutshell, they're going to be checking on multiple polls each month, and you can vote on any of them or none at all if you want. It's entirely up to you. But basically in these polls you'll have things like, what are they going to make first? Which would you like to see? Either Providence being made, the Elven City, or the Invention skill to come out first. Which one of those two would you like? Then the next one might be, what sort of new dragon would you like to add to the game? They'll have like a multiple choice of like a rune, addy, dragon, and random stuff like that. Or dragon. I wonder what they're going to call a dragon. I'll be interested. Yeah, it's basically that kind of thing. They're adding polls, and they'll be doing it every week, every month. There'll be a couple of them, and basically they'll just kind of say, right, we're planning to do this, but which one would you prefer first, kind of thing. So all in all, it's kind of nice, because you kind of know potentially what's going to be coming up next, or what is to be expected later in the year, kind of thing. So yeah, quite happy with that. Can't fault that. I kind of like the idea of that, and I'm glad they're actually finally doing it. So, the other thing to mention is Hattie and Skull. Now, many know and love Hattie and Skull. They're the two wolves that come out to play randomly once a year, and once you stab them in the face a couple of times and steal their body parts and stuff and start wearing them around like some kind of evil people, you gain boosts to your XP of like woodcutting, combat skills, that kind of thing. They're coming back. Hattie and Skull are back, and this time they're bringing a friend. Apparently there's going to be a Valkyrie added into the mix as well, called Ia, or Aya, whichever you want to say it, I don't know. Basically, they add in her, or him as well, I can't remember. Apparently you see him in Blood Runs Deep. So, for the most part, Hattie and Skull are back. There's going to be some nice, cheap and easy agility XP, woodcutting XP, and a couple of combat XP. And additionally, the new equipment that will most likely be provided by the Valkyrie, according to this at least, will reward you with bonus prayer XP and divination XP. So all in all, not bad. That's quite a large chunk of skills, giving you a nice boost. If I remember rightly, it's normally quite a massive boost as well. I'm tempted to say 1 mil, but I don't think that's quite right. Maybe wishful thinking. Mil free XP? I'll take it, sir. Next thing in order, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most, gotta be honest. It is the brand new Player Reports update. It's the second batch of updates to Lobbin. And in a nutshell, they're adding 2 new islands. Good times. They're adding some new resources as well as trade goods. And with these, you can now get yourself a cape, and it's called a Reef Walker's Cape. And this is going to be level 85, so it's going to be the highest cape in the game other than like Max and Comp, I think. I don't think there's any others with higher requirements than that. Possibly the Tokar, I don't know. They're also going to be adding a Leviathan ring. So we're going to see what that what that actually does. Whether or not it'll be similar to like the Onyx Eye and the Third Age Circuit. I don't know, what the Sixth Age Circuit, whatever it's called. Or whether it'll be specifically a ring for each combat type. Possibly, that could happen. It's something the Jagex normally do. So you could have a Leviathan ring melee, mage and range. Might come out. And they're also adding Death Lotus darts. So there's some throwing weapons as well. Apparently, from what they said in the RuneFest thing, is they're going to be adding weapons for all classes. And I hope it all comes out in this, but they've only specifically mentioned the cape, the ring, and the Death Lotus darts. So it looks like range is getting the update first, if that's all they're adding. That's all they mentioned, so I assume that's all that's coming, and maybe there'll be another batch of ports updates for Melee and Mage at the same time. But yeah, not bad. Nice new cape. We'll see how good that is, see if it stacks up against a max or a comp. And a nice new pretty ring, see if it's better than the Onyx Eye that I've been wearing for years. So there we go. One other thing to mention, they're also adding 3 new adventurers to the ports as well. This is the Trapper, which, judging by the name, will require hunting. The Chef, quite clearly, is going to require cooking. And the Architect, which I'd assume would be construction. So you're going to need 3 new skills up to 90 plus in order to make and collect the trade goods of the cape, the ring, and the new weapons. So yeah, there's more stuff for you to do in ports now. All in all, good times. Next thing is the Giant Mole. I'm just going to read this straight up for you. Veteran players will be well aware of the Giant Mole, the lurking menace that has terrorized Gillinell for many a year. I'm sorry, I really can't. Basically, the mole is getting a nice new pretty makeover kind of thing. And he's going to have a few more attacks. So basically this is going to be a completely reimagined boss. The mole is kind of like a mid-level player boss, I guess. You can go in there roughly around level 100 and stab it to death relatively easily. And basically they're updating the entire area, so they're upping the graphics, changing the combat mechanics a little, and changing the drops a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see what this fella drops after this update. Because at the moment you still can get a bollock ton of bird's nest from it, because you can trade basically the mole parts to the gardener within Valley, and he'll give you a bunch of nests, among other things. So yeah, if they're mixing it up, it'd be interesting to see what this guy drops. Additionally, apparently they've listened to our feedback, and they're going to be reducing the amount of running that's required in order to poke this fella, so you don't have to go sprinting around a cave for hours. And they're also going to be giving him a bunch more new attacks to play with, so it's not just the typical, I'm going to stab you in the face and then run away like a bitch. So that's going to be mixing up a little bit. Apparently this is going to be upscaled a little bit, and it's going to be available, and difficulty-wise, you'll require a small group of balanced players approximately at the level of 110. So it is a mid-level player boss, or low-level player, depending on which way you look at it. And additionally, they're going to be offering a hard mode. Now this is the thing that interests me the most, because the Giant Mole, as you all know, is kind of a cakewalk at this point. And after this, they're going to be changing him up a bit so he'll be a bit stronger. You can probably solo it around 140. And if you're really good, probably solo it at 110, it wouldn't surprise me. But they're also adding hard mode. And this is going to be for 3-man groups, or for solo players of considerably higher combat levels. And generally with the hard mode, you tend to get better drops or special drops you can only obtain in that mode. On top of that, the boss is upped power-wise quite a lot, and does get a few new special attacks and stuff. So that is going to be very, very interesting. Apparently, those who stand victorious can expect upgrades to the anti-fire dragon shield, farming potions which speed the growth of patches, and consumable roots which can remove nasty damage over time effects from the user. So all in all, not bad. Speeding up the growth of patches would be awesome for herb running, gotta be said. And if you're spamming farming, trying to get it up to 99, making all those trees, then this could probably help as well, depending on how much it speeds it up. Because at the moment I think it's about 8 hours for a mage tree, something like that, about 8 hours. So yeah, if that speeds it up, knocks off maybe 3 hours, you can knock out a couple of more trees a day maybe. Happy days, can't complain. Moving on, we have the Slayer update. Now this, apparently the Ninja team are releasing a bunch of very small updates, kind of like everyday changes to the Slayer skill all throughout January. They're mostly going to be focused around the Slayer helm and co-op slaying. So whether or not what they're actually going to do to this, who knows. Basically they're going to be improving the Slayer helm. First up, they're adding a Slayer gem functionality to the basic helm. Also, you'll be able to upgrade your Slayer helm to a level 70 version with stats to match. You can also fuse your Slayer rings and Ferocious rings to it to enjoy the handy teleports in one item slot, rather than filling up your inventory with a bunch of them. Additionally, you'll also be able to get new skins for Freezy, the pet you can get from co-op slaying, adopt a brand new Slayer inspired pet as well, unlock many new perks to enhance your co-op Slayer skills, or kills even. They're also removing smoke and kills as a requirement to earn Slayer points and access the Slayer reward shop. So there we go. It's been a bit more user friendly. Instead of having to get a bunch of stats up to complete smoke and kills, you can now get Slayer points while you're at it and actually use it. All in all, good times. It's not a little bad update. Makes it a bit more convenient, chucking all your rings into your helm. And there's more! It's another great month for costumes in Solomon's store, including my personal favourite, the Grim Reaper armour apparently. We're also adding custom teleports themed around the Bird and the Beast World event, and throwing some new retro armour into the mix as well. And then they're just babbling about the companion app and stuff like that. So that is it. That is coming out this month. This is the BTS for this month. Basically, in a nutshell, Slayer is getting some reworks. The helm is going to be able to allow you to put your teleports inside. You can also upgrade it to a level 70 version, so it's no longer quite as shit. The mole underneath Falador is getting a big ol' update. Graphic-wise, he's going to be looking a bit more prettier. And he's getting a bunch more attacks, so he should be a bit more of a varied fight rather than stab, run away like a bitch. And on top of that, they're adding a hard mode to it, so more drops, probably a bit rarer drops, and kind of harder stuff to get. Additionally, alongside that, you'll also be getting an upgrade to the anti-dragonfire shield, some farming posts to speed the growth of patches, and some roots you can munch to get rid of damage over time effects. Kind of handy against some bosses and PvP. Additionally, player reports. New cape, new ring, new weapon for range, good times. Bunch of new stuff to do in player reports. Hattie and Skull are coming back, along with a good new friend Valkyrie. So there's a bunch of new free XP, and additionally all throughout these months coming up, probably most likely throughout the year, you'll have polls running asking you which kind of update you want to see next, whether it's Providence, the Invention skill, new dragon, new boss, that kind of thing. Well, that's it. That's the BTS for January, people. I am going to bed. So until next time, I will catch you all later. Have a good one.